What if courage isn't something that you're born with, but something that you build, like a muscle? It's steady, it's reliable, it's strong, it's quiet. Courage grows every time you choose to act from your heart, even when your mind says, stay safe. In this video, I want to show you how tiny acts of courage, of bravery, things like eating alone, joining a new group, or simply feeling your feelings are actually powerful training for a different kind of life. So, what is a courage muscle? It's muscle that, like going to the gym or trying something new, it's something that you can build over time. So if you think of the first time that you drove as an example, there's so many things to consider. Look in the mirrors, you're checking the gears, you're making sure you've got the brakes on, where's the accelerator, other people, other cars. And initially it's very clunky. There's so much to remember. But over time, as you practice and as you drive more and more, it becomes second nature. It's a muscle that you can rely on, that it's almost it's instantaneous and natural for you to use. So the courage muscle is very much like that. Courage is something that you can practice and something you can build on over time. And why it matters, why is building a courage muscle important? Courage is this ingredient that enables us to take courage, to take actions from our hearts, to take actions that feel a little bit edgy, but it feels really right for us in this moment. Sometimes the courage to act really helps us to overcome some of the stories and old narratives that our mind loves to give us to keep us safe. So courage is this ingredient that really helps us to live a different kind of life, to live the life that we want. And so exercising the courage muscle allows us to take those actions, to make those decisions, to feel feelings that we have squashed for a very long time and bring it into life. So, as an example, I started crocheting and knitting a few years back. And when I first started, it was really clunky. I couldn't get my fingers to work. I was counting all the stitches, but then when I didn't count, there would be holes and there would be holes everywhere, be an extra stitch. It was really quite higgity-biggity. And so over time, as I practiced more and more, it became a lot more easeful. I began to communicate more with the yarn, with the wool that I'm playing with. I was a lot more familiar with my own fingers, my own actions. And over time, it became a lot smoother. And so I take that as an analogy to courage muscle, because when we exercise a courage muscle and we do it on a daily basis, things become more easeful. They become more second nature. So, how do you build your courage muscle? So, what I encourage my clients to do is to start off with a weekly practice. And it's a weekly practice to get you out of your comfort zone. So I listed some examples earlier. For example, it could be dining in a restaurant by yourself. It could be taking a different path or different route to work. It could be taking yourself on a holiday to a place you've never been to. It could be starting a new hobby, joining a new group. Anything that takes you out of your comfort zone and takes you to a place where you need to practice your courage, that is a really good place to start. So starting from just one thing a week that you do. And then from there on, you can build it up to, say, every 3 days. So we're increasing the frequency so that it's more ingrained in your body. For example, if you're training for a marathon, you start off with training every few days and then you build it up to daily and you increase the length of time. So it's a very similar concept with building your courage muscle It's first easing your body into it, then increasing the frequency. And also, as I like to call it, upping the ante. So things that feel even more edgier for you. So as an example, for me, I had a fear of heights. And so I took an opportunity at one time when I went to Tasmania to do treetop flying. And that was such a scary experience. Another experience I did was to abseil from the top of a cathedral when I was holidaying in the UK. And again, that was another experience for me to drop into that out or drop out of my comfort zone. And what really helped me was when I went to Nepal and I did paragliding. And that was the ultimate for me. I don't think I would go any further personally. I'm quite happy with that level. But I built it over time, and there were activities that were out of my comfort zone. And so now I look back, I think, oh, okay, if another opportunity arises, I'll be like, oh, okay, it's a lot. I'll still feel the adrenaline, but it's a lot more easeful. I've built up that bank in me, knowing that I've got the history, I can do it, and I'm still alive. So building that frequency, and it's really important while it's good to challenge yourself, to also be compassionate with yourself. For example, if you're going through a tricky period or finding it really hard to get out of the house or bed, especially in winter now in Southern Hemisphere, be really kind and gentle with yourself. If the thought of getting out is a big feat, maybe try even going for a coffee or a tea with a friend once a week. Maybe that is your courage practice for the week. So the balance between getting out of your comfort zone and also being compassionate with yourself while you build your courage muscle. And finally, I really encourage you to do a reflection at the end of each week. So this could be a journal of what you did to take yourself out of the comfort zone and how you felt in that process. It's really important to reflect on how you were feeling inside and to keep a journal of that so that visually you can see it, you can see your own progress, and also helps you to cement that experience, to reinforce that experience in your body that, yeah, you can do it and you've got that courage muscle that you're building over time. So I really encourage you to take those steps to take yourself out of your comfort zone, to practice it weekly and increasing it to every few days, to even to daily practice, and then reflecting through, journaling on what what the experience was for you. So I'd really love to hear in your comments below what was one thing that um, that took you out of your comfort zone, or one thing that you've done this week that where you've strengthened your courage muscle. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.